Greetings everyone, my name is Dr. Jason Freeman. I'd like to welcome y'all to my channel. Over the past decade, I've had the wonderful opportunity to travel extensively, both domestically and internationally. Now, what's allowed me to travel as much as I have been these 10 travel hacks that I've learned over the years. I'm going to share these hacks with you today because, frankly, I'm a nice guy. So let's start with accommodations. So travel hack number 1 is to book your hotels through hotels.com. There are multiple ways to save money by booking with hotels.com. First, you have exclusive discounts that you can only get by booking through hotels.com. In addition, you have something called One Key Cash. Recently, my family and I went to the Maine Lobster Festival in Rockland, Maine, and we saved around $166 on a hotel room using One Key Cash. Now, we save money by cashing in rewards that we accumulated by multiple stays at different hotels over the years. Now, you can also save money by getting exclusive deals as you move up tiers within the system by using either hotels.com, Vrbo, or Expedia. Travel hack number 2 is to use Airbnb when traveling to expensive cities. Now, I've used Airbnb 3 times to book accommodations in expensive cities. Once in New York City, once in Montreal, and once in Seattle, Washington. Now, the reason I use Airbnb in those instances is because I wanted to be near downtown. In those cases, in all 3 cases, I wanted to be near the conference hotel where I was giving a presentation of research, but I couldn't really afford the hotels that were down there. Now, of course, one trade-off of using Airbnb is that you don't always know what kind of accommodation you're going to get. In 2 of the 3 cases, I got pretty good situations. In New York, it was a decent Airbnb, and also in Montreal. In Seattle, though, I had some issues with it, and I'm going to talk about that with the next accommodations recommendation. Travel hack number 3, use youth hostels for extremely cheap accommodations. And so the issue I ran into in Seattle was that the Airbnb I booked for me and my wife was actually a youth hostel. Now, the issue with youth hostels is that they are very bare bones. They have very few luxuries. For example, for me and my wife, when we're in that little hostel area, the bathroom was separated not by a wall or a door, but by a curtain. Now, because I was traveling with my wife, it was no problem. But let's say I was traveling with someone who I didn't know quite as well. I don't know if I want to have my bed here and then a toilet and a curtain here where I can hear them do their business every time they go behind the curtain, which didn't really give a lot of privacy. Travel hack number 4, use couchsurfing.com to find free accommodations. Now, as of this recording, couchsurfing.com is a subscription-based service that charges $2.99 a month or $14.99 a year. Now, couchsurfing.com is one of the travel hacks I haven't actually used personally. However, I do plan to use it when I go to Notting Hill Carnival next year and cover that event. Now, the big plus of using Couchsurfing is that it's free. So basically, you arrange the setup between you and the person who is providing accommodations. So you find them on Couchsurfing.com, you research their background, research their profile, and then you contact them and try to arrange a setup to essentially stay with them during that particular period of time. Now, potential drawbacks include lack of privacy. Sometimes it really is just a couch that you're staying at, so you don't really have your own dedicated space. And there's also potential safety concerns. So as a 6-foot-tall black male, I'm not super afraid of going somewhere using Couchsurfing personally. Of course, danger could still happen. But if I'm, say, a woman traveler, if I'm going somewhere, I might not feel safe going to someone's house who I don't know. So again, it's one of those situations where safety might be a big concern for you, and also it isn't necessarily a guarantee of accommodation, so you might get there because there's no money being exchanged. It could be a situation where they just kind of say, we don't want you here. Travel hack number 5. Use credit cards to pay bills that provide airline miles and points. Both my wife and I have had the opportunity to travel cross country using airline points, essentially, or miles that you get through using a credit card. Now, depending on whether your miles expire or not, you can use essentially the accumulated points to maybe take a nice vacation. So maybe get again, like I mentioned before, use it to fly across country or even use it to fly internationally. Now, one way to do this is to get a credit card, and it really depends on your credit history, your ability or kind of proclivity of using credit, to get a credit card and pay bills using that credit card, and of course pay the credit card bill off as soon as the bill comes up. So kind of consistently paying your bill once you use it. Travel hack number 6. Use an online aggregator such as kayak.com to book airlines, hotels, or rental cars. Now, before I book a flight, I always go to kayak.com so I can find the cheapest flight available. Aggregators like Kayak scour the internet to find the best deals that are available out there. And so I have gotten multiple domestic as well as international flights using kayak.com. Now, one weakness of aggregators like Kayak is that they don't always cover every single airline, which brings you to my next travel hack. Travel hack number 7. Use Southwest Airlines for domestic travel. Now, living in Baltimore County in Maryland, the closest airport to me is the Baltimore-Washington International Airport, also known as BWI. Now, one benefit of living near BWI is that it's a major hub for Southwest Airlines. And so when I book domestic flights, I'll oftentimes will do kayak.com, and then I'll go to Southwest to see if I can get a better deal with, in particular, the wanna get away price. Another benefit of using Southwest Airlines is that bags 50 pounds and under fly free. Travel hack number 8. Using a travel agent to book theme parks and cruises. Now, one of the cool things I learned, specifically from the Royal Caribbean blog on YouTube, here on YouTube, is that if you use a travel agent, ideally or typically, you don't actually have any extra fees. They actually get paid from the resort, from the theme park, from the cruise that you're booking. A benefit of using a travel agent is that they oftentimes have access to certain discounts that typical people don't have access to, so because of their experience, because of their relationships. And so if you go through a travel agent, they'll get you those discounts that you can't typically get on your own. Now, this is a travel hack I've actually used fairly recently. So last year I went to the Bahamas with my wife on a cruise. And so we enjoyed being on the cruise so much we decided let's do another cruise the next year. So this year we went to Mexico and Bahamas, and to get the cruise for this year, we actually used the Next Cruise option. And so what we did is went to the Next Cruise desk, which was on whatever deck it was on the ship. Went down there, we sat down with the guy, and so we went through all of the cruises that were available in the next year or so, essentially, or the ones that were already out that were kind of being advertised. And so we found a cruise at a good time that we would both be available to go on the cruise, and he gave us a discount. He gave us a pretty significant discount on the cruise, more so than we would have gotten on our own. And so I would say that if you're on a cruise, I would say at least go down and look and see what the options are. You don't have to purchase one just because you go to the desk. But I would say rather than waiting and getting off the ship and doing it when you're going to, again, lose that discount, again, go look, and if there's something that looks good and you do intend to go on another cruise in the near future, I would say use that, because that's what we did, and it actually saved us a lot of money. Travel hack number 10. Don't use airport or cruise terminal parking. So I actually discovered this travel hack this year. So when I went to the cruise to Mexico and the Caribbean, we looked around to see if there's cheaper parking than was available at the cruise terminal. And we found that just nearby, right up the road from the cruise terminal, there was actually pretty cheap parking. In addition, we had a cross-country flight we had to take, and so we did the same thing. We went and looked for parking around the airport in that case, and we found that hotels around the airport had one, cheap parking, but also they had shuttles that get you from the hotel to the airport and back, essentially for free. Now, one thing people might worry about with this discounted parking is security, but we've used it a couple times and we've had no issues with that whatsoever. Now, if you found this video interesting and or informative, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Also, please share this video. And if you have any travel hacks you'd like to share, please leave those hacks in the comment section below. Thank you for your time and safe travels.